Well, hello everybody. Thank you for watching The Farm and Pastor's Wife. We are just a couple of days ahead of Thanksgiving and I am on a cooking spree today. Right now I'm going to make graham cracker bars. So stay tuned and watch how to make this lovely little, it can be a dessert or it can be like a little snack. If your guests are coming early, they can have something to snack on, or if they're staying late, they can have like a nice little snack after the dinner if there's any room at all. But stay tuned, watch how to make graham cracker bars. Hey guys. Well, I'm fixing to make what is called graham cracker bars. And I thought before I started working on it, I thought I'd show you what you need. You need a box of graham cracker crumbs. You need a stick and a half of butter. And this is just for the bars. It's going to have an icing on top and you'll need stuff for that too. So, stick and a half of butter. You're going to need some coconut. You're going to need whole graham crackers, sugar, milk, 1 egg. I think that's it. I think that's it for the bar. But then you'll have an icing that goes on top as well. So as far as this recipe goes, it is not my recipe and I do not know where I got it. I'm kind of wanting to say maybe off Pinterest, but I'm not sure. So I don't know. So I'm gonna bring y'all back in just a second when I'm ready to get started, okay? Okay, one ingredient I forgot to tell you about. I knew there was something missing and I just couldn't think what it was. Pecans. You need a cup of pecans. And so in order to save dishes and just to kind of get things ready, I went ahead and measured out. You need a cup of graham cracker crumbs, a cup of coconut, and a cup of nuts. So everything is right here. Now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to spray the pan. It doesn't say to, but I'm going to just to make it easier. Tiffany's. I got my Christmas music going. Believe in you. Let's see if you believe in me. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to line the bottom of this pan with whole graham crackers. So we're just going to put a layer of graham crackers. And it doesn't matter which side goes up. But for some reason, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. Okay, looks like I can get 6 maybe. I wonder, see if I can, I'm going to break these apart. Alright, I took 6 and then I put some little pieces down in the bottom. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pot and I'm going to start melting my butter. I've got potatoes on over here. My sweet potatoes are boiling for my sweet potato pies and for my candy jams. So I'm not going to let you don't have to watch that. I'm just going to melt my butter and sugar. And then I'm going to let it cool and I'll show you what I do next. Well, I changed my mind. I just moved my potatoes to the back. I don't have to have them cooked at any certain time. So I thought I'd bring you over here and you can watch me as I go. Now, I think it's a cup of sugar. Let me go check my recipe just to be sure while that's melting, getting a good start. Yes, it is 1 cup of sugar. Now after I melt all this together and it, you know, comes to a boil, I really like for my butter to get completely melted before I add my sugar. So I'll bring you back just as soon as the butter's melted. Okay guys, I just went ahead and added my cup of sugar in here. And I'm just going to get it good and melted. And I'm going to make sure that the sugar melts. I've actually cut the heat down because I'm not actually going to boil it until I add the egg and the milk. So I really just kind of want to get this started. Okay, so I'm going to just take this off the heat and let it cool for a little bit, because if I add the egg in there now, the egg will cook, and we don't want that. So I'm going to let this cool for just a minute. I'll bring you back in just a second. Okay, so while we're waiting on the butter and the milk, the sugar to cool, I have actually got a paper plate, and I dumped all the graham cracker crumbs, the coconut, the pecans on a paper plate, because I needed that small mixing bowl. So let me show you what I've got in here. I've got 1 egg. Got 1 egg in there, and I'm going to add a half a cup of milk, plus a few splashes. Okay, and I'm just going to mix this together. Alright, it's ready. So as soon as the butter and sugar cool, we'll add this over in there, and then we'll cook that and bring it to a boil. So I'll bring you back in just a few minutes. Okay guys, I have added the egg and milk to the sugar and butter, and I am just going to stir until this comes to a boil. And when it comes to a boil, we'll move back over to where we were. And I get my potatoes back on the boil. Alright, looks like it's blending up good here. And if by chance your sugar and butter was a little bit too hot, and you want to let it cool so it don't cook your egg. But if by chance you did have it a little too hot, and it's okay, because there's going to be so much stuff in this filling, nobody's ever going to know. There's coconut, there's graham cracker crumbs, there's nuts. So it's okay. So don't fret it. But now if you scramble the whole egg in here, you want to probably start over. But if it's just little bitty specks, don't worry about it. Alright, I'm going to quit stirring just to see if I brought it to a boil. It's starting to, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to remove it from the heat now. We'll set the potatoes back on. Woo. And we'll bring you guys over here. I don't want my phone to end up in that hot stuff right there. Okay, here, and I think I'm going to use something other than a whisk now. Here is the coconut, the graham cracker crumbs, and the nuts. I'm going to slide all that in. And let's get a spatula. Y'all, this smells so good. Alright, let me check one thing on my recipe. Okay. Y'all, I know you can't see what I'm doing. Hang on. I poured it over my graham cracker crumbs. I mean, not crumbs, but my crackers. I may have to take these out. Those little extra ones I put in there, I don't think they're going to work. Be careful if you do this because that stuff's hot. Okay. I'll just let that one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top this with more graham crackers. And then once it cools, on top of the graham crackers is going to go in icing. And you'll actually use the other half a stick of butter that you did not use in the filling. You'll use it in the, so the full recipe uses 2 sticks of butter, but you'll use the other part with the icing. I think I can use those little wedges now because, whoo, that stuff's hot. Because it's a little bit wider at the top. All right, so we're gonna let this cool. And then we'll come back and ice it in just a little bit. This is gonna be so yummy. Okay, on our graham cracker bars, it has an icing. So it's cooled just a little bit, not much. I mean, it's still pretty warm, but it's okay because we want it to soften those graham crackers. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it. And I'm gonna mix my ingredients or put my ingredients in the bowl here, and then I'm gonna step over there and use my hand mixer. And then I'll come back over here and show you what it looks like, okay? Let me get out my ingredients. I don't even have them out yet, hang on. Okay, so we're ready to make the icing. Okay, it calls for 2 cups of powdered sugar. So this is a half measuring cup, so I'm just gonna shake it. There's a half, 1, half, and 2. And with powdered sugar, I don't worry about if I have a little too much because it just means more icing. I mean, what is that gonna hurt besides my waistline? Okay, I'm gonna put just a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to use the other half, the stick of butter that I didn't use, and it's softened, so it should beat up pretty easily. And I'm going to do about 3 tablespoons of milk. 2, 3. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here to my hand mixer that's plugged in, and I'll bring it back and show you what it looks like before I ice the graham crackers. Okay, so here is what the icing looks like. Yum. Yum. Bryant has already actually gave the icing a sample. So we're gonna put this, I'm just gonna kind of apply. It's a very thin layer. This is not meant to be a thick buttercream or anything like that. I mean, I guess it's a form of buttercream, but it's just meant to be a thin layer. I mean, it's okay if the graham crackers show. It's like I said, it is not an icing person. I mean, it is an icing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just really thin. And what I'm going to do after I get all the icing poured on or spread out is we're going to chill it. Gonna chill it. It's going to be chilling. All right, there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cut these out in bars and they won't last long enough for people to see if they're perfect or not. All right, I'm going to cover this up and get it in the refrigerator, and that's good icing. That's really good icing. So I'm going to put the tin foil on this, get it in the refrigerator, and clean up. I like to clean as I go. So I'm going to clean up. So these are our graham cracker bars. Just like I said with the salsa video, the cranberry salsa, I will make a video on Thanksgiving Day. It may not air Thanksgiving Day, but I'm going to make a video that day and show you the finished products of everything, because I'm not going to cut it yet. But I wanted to show you how to make it in case you wanted to make it for Thanksgiving. So there is the graham cracker bars, and then I'll show you the finished product. I guess I could show you tonight, but no, I'll just wait until Thanksgiving and I'll show you all the finished products. So so tune in. It may be that night, late that night, but probably the next day or even the next. Not sure when, but we'll get it going. So y'all have a great day, and I will see you in a little bit. Thanks for watching.